Last time out, we won the Caribou Cup to bring home our first silverware of the season. Today, we try and make progress in two other competitions with a view to more silverware coming our way. First of all, in the FA Cup, then in the Premier League, and we have the draw for yet more silverware with the Champions League. Hello, and it's a very warm welcome to episode 68 of Irons in the Fire as we try and make West Ham good and great again. My name's Mark, and on today's episode, we have two games for you. First up, the FA Cup fifth round tie against Portsmouth at Portsmouth, and then Manchester United come to visit in Premier League match day 28. And you will see up on the screen right now that we have gone unbeaten for 42 games. I mean, that is quite astounding, really. Unbeaten since the 23rd of August 2025, that opening game of the season, of course, against Liverpool was our only loss in the Premier League this season, and indeed in all competitions. How long can we continue that for as we go in pursuit of some more silverware? Not that I'm greedy, but as this is the last season of our save, I want to endeavour to try and get as much silverware in the pot as we possibly can. So that's what we're out to do, and what we shall continue to do as we go along. Right, if you are enjoying today's episode, or indeed you're enjoying the series, please leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the series, and let me know what you'd like to see me do next as we come to the conclusion of this particular series. Let me know in the comments. I'll be most grateful. The other thing you can do is you can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffside2. Keeps you up to date with everything that is going on in this channel, or on this channel, should I say, and it will keep you up to date with things as they happen, new series and all of the rest of it. Right, quick update on a couple of things. In fact, I'm right in the wrong season there, aren't I? I was having a look to see if we'd actually won any more silverware during this series. We had once beat Manchester United in the FA Cup, but that's where we're at today. Of course, the last match we played, that 5-2 win against Tottenham at Wembley, which was rather splendid, and a great day out, including that hat-trick from Mohamed Kudus, of course, giving us that win. Quick check on the Premier League, because there is stuff going on in the Premier League, of course. What we want to do is that, Mark, it was in the wrong screen. I wonder why the wrong screen was up for a second or two. This is how the table looks going into today's episode. Majority of teams have played 27 games. Manchester United and Tottenham have only played 26. So has Liverpool and Southampton. So those two don't affect us too much. Manchester United, Tottenham, yeah, I would say they affect us. They potentially can. So we are top of the table as it stands at the moment. 70 points from 27 games. Chelsea are in second, 13 points behind us on 57 points. Then come Arsenal, a further few points, and 16 points away from us, down in third place. Manchester United, one of our opponents today's episode, they are in fourth place on 53. As it stands, 17 points behind us. It's a long way to catch up, as are Tottenham, but they do have a game in hand, so that technically is only 14 points. Manchester United, they've had a torrid season. They're down in sixth on 51. Some 19 points adrift of us. I don't think they're going to catch us this season. I don't think they're going to get another title this year. It will be an absolute miracle if they did. Somebody else, the rest of us above, have got to collapse, basically. And then Aston Villa, just outside the European places, on 45 points from 27 games. The other notable thing is Liverpool down in 12th. They are having an absolute stinker of a season More about that in a minute. They are on 33 points from 26 games. Norwich, Luton and Southampton in the drop zone, albeit I would suggest Bournemouth, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest, Norwich, Luton and Southampton battling it out for those bottom three places as we go on. Right, what else has been happening? The other thing that we've got coming up, I mentioned in the episode, is we do have the Champions League round of 16 draw coming up. We are on Wednesday, the 25th of February. The final round of the knockout stages are coming up. We'll check in on that in just a moment to see who's through, who's not through so far. The draw will come up on the 27th, just ahead of the game against Manchester United. So we'll have the Portsmouth game, then the draw for the Champions League round of 16, and then we'll have the Manchester United game. We'll know who we are playing in the next episode then, won't we? Yes, so that's where we are. We're going to have a quick check on the Champions League, weren't we? So this is today's games. Arsenal will play Galatasaray. It's 1-1 after the first leg. Werder Bremen are 4-0 down against Red Bull Salzburg. You'd like to fancy Arsenal on the fact that it was 1-1, bringing them back to the Emirates. So they must stand a fairly good chance. Who else is in there? Manchester United have beaten Juventus 3-0, 0-0 after the first leg. Manchester United holding them and brought them back to Old Trafford, beat them 3-0 at Old Trafford. So that was a good result. And Milan beating Benfica by 2-0. 6-2 on aggregate. So that is how we get on. I did mention Liverpool, I think, didn't I? That was the first round of fixtures. Where are we? Liverpool. They have played both their games. They lost in... they drew 1-1 with Aston Villa in the second leg. But by virtue of the first leg where they lost 2-1 at Anfield, they've ended up losing 3-2. So Liverpool are out of the Champions League for this season. So that's what's gone on. And Celtic also out. They lost, drew 1-1 with Porto. Again, similar result. They were a goal behind after the first leg. So ended up 2-1 on aggregate. We'll give you an update of that when the final set of results are in, and obviously a bit more of a picture as to who is through. In fact, it gives you clear on here. Monaco are through, Lyon are through, Aston Villa are through, Porto are through. The other teams have mentioned still to play, of course, Milan and Manchester United through to that draw, which we will have after the next game. Right, without any more to do, let's get into it. Let's get the games rolling. It's a fifth round FA Cup, fifth round tie against Portsmouth. Of course, beating Newcastle by 4-0 in the last round. That was at home, though. This is away. I'm just checking to see who they beat in the fourth round, if we can. Who did they beat in the fourth round? That's a good question. Senior squad. FA Cup, it went to a replay. They played Bristol City, drew 1-1 with them in the first leg. Drew 2-2 with them in the second game in the replay, but managed to squeeze through on penalties. So a bit of a tight one there. So, that's where they are. Sky Bet Championship, Portsmouth currently in game. So that's where we're at. It's an FA Cup fifth round tie then. They are without Rory Wilson, who is cup tied. And we are without Fabriano Parisi, who is suspended after he's sending off in the Carabao Cup final. And here is the team that faces Portsmouth in this Emirates FA Cup fifth round. And we've rotated a little bit, certainly on the bench. There's a bit of rotation as well. Trubin is back in goal. He's our cup goalkeeper at very least. Mazzuglia keeping him out of the main squad in the Premier League for quite a bit of the time anyway. Mazzuglia's played 33 games, whereas Trubin's only played 10. So that's how he is. Trubin in goal then. It's Gomez, Vitic, Upamecano and Kahera, our back line. Then Shalaga, Gray and Souček in midfield. Gluck is in behind Bowen and Kerr up front. Mazulia, Todibo, Sufal, Emerson, Friedel, Archibald, Boyle, should I say, Watkins and Abraham make the bench. And here we are at Fratton Park. They've only won one of their last 5. They are playing a 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder today. And, of course, we're on that 42 match unbeaten run. And we have our usual formation with a slightly forward midfield trio. 15 minutes in, Lacey for Portsmouth swings it in. It's not headed clear, and a penalty's been given, I think. Gomez getting a yellow card for it, and on 16 minutes we could be a goal behind. Wing. And Trubin not getting there, and Portsmouth take the lead. No VAR, of course. Not that that would have made any difference. Trubin going the right way, but not getting across. 17 minutes on the clock. Gomez with a long throw. It's headed away, and Portsmouth are breaking out, but Gray steals that ball. Forward to Bowen. Bowen keeps the ball in, but lost the ball. Not quite sure what happened there. After Gray had done all the work. And looking a bit susceptible at the minute, but that's safe. Goes through to Trubin. Trubin out to Gomez on that left-hand side today. I was going to say right-hand side, but it's not. Oscar through to Bowen. Bowen round the goalkeeper. Puts it away. It's 1-1 on 19 minutes. And well worked. And Bowen taking it round the goalkeeper to tuck it away. And they had a lead for just 2 minutes. 3 minutes, if you look at it properly. Bowen round the goalkeeper. Puts it away. Swanson with a throw into Iglesias. Paul. Towler. Lane. Ball through to Larry. Larry's in. He's put that one away. Second goal of the season. And tell you what, within a minute, they're back in front. Maybe we won't be winning any more silverware this year. Goodness me, what's going on? Portsmouth on the ball again. 21 minutes on the clock now. Another goal would really put us behind quite a long way. But Kerr gets in, wins that ball. Kerr making a nuisance of himself. Through to Gluck. Bowen again. Bowen ruffles the net, but it's gone over. And it's all Portsmouth. They are really doing a job, but that's cut out by Gluck. Through to Kerr. Kerr not controlling that ball. Poor ball through to Xavier. Gomez, as we build again, need to get back on level terms first. Went 2 goals behind, or went behind twice against Tottenham, of course. It's taken a deflection. It's come out. Bowen tidies up. It's to Gomez. Gomez fires a shot in. Soucek takes a swing and he misses. Gray. Xavier still alive. Cahera. Gomez will see what's going on here. Gomez gets that ball into Xavier. Xavier took a deflection off of the defender. Bowen recycling. Corner now. Bowen, short corner. Crossed in. It's all gone wide. It's gone for a corner, I think. Another corner. And they're defending hearts, bodies and minds. Gerard Bowen swings it into near post. Ooh! And it's another corner. 3 on the trot. Pressure coming here. Bowen. This time a bit deeper. Looking for the back post. I think it's gone for another corner on the other side this time. Gluck going to take this one. Gluck swings it in. It's headed out and they can clear this time. clear their decks. Gomez, 27 on the clock. Gray to Shalaga. Gomez out wide. Gomez tucks it inside to Gluck. Gluck has Vitic there in support. Upper Meccano to Cajera. Cajera now comes forward. Cajera, cross it in. Oh, it's come back on the post. And Kerr was, well, he was inches away from having a goal and getting us level. Bowen with another corner. Swung into near post. It's headed away though. And we'll see it again. Kerr unlucky. Off the inside of the post. Came back out. Couldn't get to it because goalkeeper was in the way. Gray, 29 on the clock. Gomez. It's end-to-end stuff and we've sort of got ourselves back in this game. But we need to score another goal. Goalkeeper punches it clear. Kerr brings it down. Kerr crosses it in the area. It's come off the post. But Bowen's there. Puts away his 17th goal of the season. And I'll tell you what, I didn't think that was going to go in for a minute. The woodwork is stopping it. Then it was blocked. Then it fell to Bowen. And Bowen managed to squeeze it in. Kerr, look, plays this ball in. Lovely ball. Oh, Gluck onto the post. It came back. Bowen puts it away. Second goal of the game. Highlight from the restart. 30 minutes on the clock now. And, well, Cajera cutting that one out. Upper Meccano. As I said, we did go behind twice against Tottenham and came out on top. We're going to have to do the same today. Gomez comes down and cuts inside. Oh, it's short, but managed to sort it out. Gray. Simple, quick touches. And it's a goal. Bowen gets his hat-trick inside, 31 minutes. And we take the lead for the first time, 3-2. What a game. What a topsy-turvy game it is. Shalaga over to Bowen. Bowen brings it under control. And he's master at putting those away. See whether he was offside or not. No, he's being played onside. Certainly by one defender, if not three. They have a free kick. Alahassi has given it to Souček. I'm not sure what that was for. Kerr into the area, cuts it back. And it's Gluck this time putting it away. And from being 1-0 down, 1-1, 2-1, we're now 4-2 after 35 minutes. And, well, on a rampage. Kerr again will get the assist for this one. Not sure why the defender didn't cut that out, but goalkeeper pushing it into the path of Gluck. Well, after that furore of activity, we get through to half-time. And, we're definitely on top now, I think, with a 2-goal cushion as well. 14 shots, 5 on target, 4.25 and 41% of the possession. We've managed to claw some of that possession back as that half wore on. They've had 2 shots, 2 on target, both of them goals, of course, 1.22 and 59% of the possession. Well, I'm a bit happier at half-time now compared to where we were, but I think the boys still need a bit of a talking to. 58 minutes on the clock. Riley Towler has gone off. Gerard Bowen standing over this free kick. He's gone direct and goalkeeper gets to it. Iglesias, they have a throw in on that far side. Alahassi. Lowry. Back to Thomas. Iglesias. Goes out wide to Swanson, who's a bit of a threat. Going to have to keep an eye on him. He's going to cut this ball in. It's chipped in deep, but it's headed clear. Cajera nodding it away, but back in the area again. Oh, and Trubin spills it. Deary me. And they've got to go back. And that 2-goal cushion, it's not looking too dandy now. It's Trubin again. Trubin. And with 85 minutes on the clock, making the rest of our changes, one of which is enforced. Schlager has picked up a lower leg injury. Hopefully nothing too sinister. He's had to come off. We've replaced him with Marco Friedel, who is not best position. He's there. He's not good at playing in that midfield. I might drop him back a little bit. We'll do that in just a moment. The other changes, Thilo Carrera comes off. Vladimir Sufal comes on to replace him. On the other side, we have replaced Gomez. Joe Gomez has come off. Emerson comes on to replace him. And our final change at this juncture in time is Gerard Bowen is off. And Tammy Abraham joins the fray at the front. Let's go and change this. 85 minutes on the clock, and they've got another throw in, and we're still not getting at them. Oh, dearie me. We have a corner. Gluck with a corner. Nearly 90 minutes on the clock. 6 minutes of extra time to be added. Gluck, this one to Kerr. Archibald, he gets his first goal. Oh, man, a 2-goal cushion again. In fact, it was an own goal off of Tyrrell Thomas. But to be honest, Archibald won't argue. It was a good shot. To Archibald, it did take a slight defection off of Thomas. And a quarter-final draw coming up, as well as the Champions League draw. And by the skin of our teeth there, we managed to scrape in. Gerard Bowen getting a hat-trick in 31 minutes. Oscar Gluck on 35. And then that Archibald drive, which was deflected by Tyrrell Thomas on 90 minutes. Saw off Portsmouth. Feisty or what? And you can see why they give Bristol City a good run for their money. But that's how it's ended. It's a 5-3 win. 19 shots, 7 on target. 0.480. We weren't so good in that second half, I don't think. 44% of the possession. They had 6 shots, 4 on target, 1.87 and 56% of the possession. We've seen them off, but we're going to have to play better than that against Manchester United. I'll tell you, one player won't be playing, and that's Trubin. Well, the first bit of news for you is the Champions League results. Arsenal beating Galatasaray by 2-1, 3-2 on aggregate. They're through. Werder Bremen beating Red Bull Salzburg by 1-0 on the evening, but losing 4-1 on aggregate. So they are the final 2 teams through to the draw, which is coming up very, very shortly. The next bit of news is Schlager is only going to be out for 1 to 3 days, just getting a bruised shin. So that was good news on that one. So to the scores of the 5th round matches played this evening, and Aston Villa beating Brentford by 2-0. Aston Villa continue their excellent season that they're having. Brighton beating Fulham 2-1. Exeter losing out to Leeds United, but only on a penalty on 86 minutes. They took the lead after 22 and made Leeds look a bit poor up until Gelhardt getting the equaliser on 76, and then PK scoring from the penalty spot. Otherwise, they were definitely in it, Exeter City. Liverpool seem to have got a result against Leicester. 3-2 win there to... And so to the scores, the other scores in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Aston Villa beating Brentford by 2-0. Brighton beating Fulham 2-1. Exeter City give Leeds United a run for their money. 2-1 losers though. Scott from the penalty spot after 22. Gelhardt getting an equaliser after 76. PK from the penalty spot after 86 gives Leeds a 2-1 win. They progress. Liverpool beating Leicester. So their season's not completely dead and buried as yet. Manchester City getting past Coventry by 2-0. And of course our 5-3 win against Portsmouth. There are still a couple of ties to play, but because Arsenal and Manchester United have been in the Champions League, they are deferred until the 4th of March. I think we still have a draw coming up, but they will obviously be an either or. Arsenal to play Oxford United and Manchester United to play Bournemouth. I would expect Arsenal and Manchester United, unless there's any surprises, to progress into that draw. The draw, I suspect, will be coming up. Let's have a quick look. The draw will be coming up on the 27th. So on the 27th, we have a Champions League draw and an FA Cup quarter-final draw. We'll be back for whichever comes first. Well, first up is the Champions League, a round of 16 draw, 16 teams into the hat for 8 matches to be drawn. We'll go and have a look at that right now. And here we are. Steve Bruce is the ceremony host. Hello, Steve. We have 8 unseeded teams. These are the teams that have come through the knockout stage that we've been waiting for. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Lyon, Manchester United, Milan, Monaco, Porto and Red Bull Salzburg are in those 8. We have English sides, 3 of those 8. So that's rather good news. And then you have the seeded teams: Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Inter, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid and ourselves. These are the teams that have come through by getting in the top 8 of the league phase. They will be drawn second, and the purpose of that is that one, you get an unseeded team, and secondly, you get the home tie second. So the advantage of a home tie on the second leg. Right, without any more, let's get on with it and have the draw. Milan are first out, and they will play out of pot 2 Real Madrid. Milan versus Real Madrid. Right, law of averages says there's a 50% chance it's going to be English side. It's not. It's Red Bull Salzburg, and they are going to play West Ham. We'll be playing Red Bull Salzburg in the last 16, or round of 16 as they call it now. Monaco are out. They will play Bayern Munich. Manchester United, they are at Old Trafford first. They will play Inter. Manchester United versus Inter Milan. 2 Milan sides in the draw, of course. Porto, they are out, and they will play Manchester City. Manchester City playing Porto of Portugal. Lyon from France, of course. They play Paris Saint-Germain. It's an all-French tie. Lyon versus Paris Saint-Germain. What a draw that is. Aston Villa, who've done so well in this competition this season, they will play either Barcelona or Dortmund. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Dortmund. Bayern Dortmund, which means Arsenal have the privilege of playing Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal will play Barcelona. Did I say Paris Saint-Germain? I've obviously read that completely wrong. Here is the draw then, because they're playing Lyon. What am I on about? So Arsenal will have to play Barcelona. That's not going to be easy, is it? The Nou Camp in the second leg. Right, this is the full draw then. Milan versus Real Madrid. A Red Bull Salzburg versus West Ham. Monaco versus Bayern Munich. Manchester United versus Inter. Porto versus Manchester City. Lyon versus Paris Saint-Germain. Aston Villa versus Dortmund, and Arsenal versus Barcelona. Let's have a look at how that fits into the schedule. So very quickly, ahead of the draw for the quarterfinal, not the 5th round, but the quarterfinal of the FA Cup, which will sort out our schedule going forward, and ahead of the game against Manchester United, of course. Red Bull Salzburg and Newcastle in the next episode, both away games, as we face Newcastle at St James's Park, as we continue, hopefully, our run at the top of the Premier League. But that Champions League of round of 16, first leg against Red Bull, and then we will come back for Red Bull Salzburg second leg, and as yet, an unknown team in the FA Cup quarter-final. And so after all that, we will come back now for our draw, FA Cup quarter-final draw. 10 teams in the hat as it stands. Obviously, 8 teams for 4 matches. But as we know, there are still 2 matches to be played. Let's go and have a look at the draw then for the FA Cup quarter-final. Who will we be playing? Ruud van Nistelrooy is the ceremony host. The teams in the draw for this one then, it's Arsenal or Oxford United, Manchester United or Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Brighton, Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester City and ourselves. Law of averages says we potentially could get one of these guys here. We will see who gets what. Let's get underway then. First out, Aston Villa will be at home to Leeds United. Brighton will play Arsenal or Oxford United, which means that we will have potentially either Manchester United, Liverpool or Manchester City. You know what's coming, don't you? Manchester City at the Etihad. Oh no, to Liverpool, which means that we will be playing Manchester United or Bournemouth. My money's on Manchester United, to be fair. They will be at home and we will be playing them. So, looks like we're playing Manchester United potentially twice in quick succession, unless something strange happens. Aston Villa versus Leeds, Brighton versus Arsenal or Oxford, Manchester City versus Liverpool. One of the biggies are going out, and my money's on Liverpool because they've had a torrid season so far. Manchester United will play ourselves. That is the draw for the Emirates FA Cup quarter-final. Can we progress? We'll find out in a future episode. Let's go and have a look at how that fits into the schedule. And so here we are. Next episode then, as I said, Red Bull Salzburg in Salzburg. And then an away match at St James's Park against Newcastle. And then we'll play Red Bull Salzburg again at the London Stadium. But we will have an away tie at either Manchester United or AFC Bournemouth for the FA Cup quarter-final for a place in the semi-final of that competition to see us through, hopefully, with some more silverware. Right, we're going to come back again ahead of this game against Manchester United. Be back in just a moment. So here we are, match day 28 in the Premier League. And Manchester United at the London Stadium. That's what we are up against. Past meetings against Manchester United. We've played them 8 times in this series so far. We've only beaten them twice, which is a bit of a worry. The last time was at the London Stadium. It was a 2-1 win on that occasion. Wagnerman and Paqueta, the scorers. Paqueta giving us the win from the penalty spot after 88. That was after Wagnerman gave us the lead. Mason Mount equalising on 14. And Kurt Zuma, having been sent off after 39 minutes in that game, caused us all sorts of trouble. And Mason Mount seems to be a thorn in our side because he scored on the last 2 occasions we've played them. Tammy Abraham giving us a lead at Old Trafford in the last game. We played against them on 60 minutes and Mason Mount equalising on 64. So we're vulnerable when we score against them. That is for sure. And then obviously in cup matches, we've lost to them in extra time as we've got tired. But yeah, the last couple of occasions, we haven't, up to now, we haven't lost to them at the London Stadium other than the EFL. Oh, no, that was cup final. So that wasn't at our place. So, yeah, I'll go back to what I just said. We haven't lost to them at the London Stadium. A 2-2 draw, a 3-2 win in extra time. That was a final, though. That was it. So we've only played them twice. So, yeah, both times a 2-2 draw and a 2-1 win. Can we add to that today? That's what we're trying to do. Let's hope so. Team news, we've got a full Fettel, and they potentially without Tarati, who's doubtful with a bruised head. But otherwise, this is the team news. And here is the side that faces Manchester United in this Premier League match day 28 as we go and try and continue our exploits at the top of the Premier League table. One thing to mention is we are playing the last game of the day. All the others have played. Liverpool have lost. Manchester City have won. They've beaten Brentford by 5-0. So it's I think our lead at the top is closed to 12 points. Chelsea having a 0-0 draw against local rivals Arsenal. So that's all been played out. We'll focus on that when this game's over because we'll know where we are. But this is the team that will face Manchester United. Mazzoulia is back in goal after Trubin's poor showing in the FA Cup against Portsmouth. Just to mention that he has dropped out of the matchday squad today. Nathan Trott is on the bench. So Mazzoulia in goal then. Parisi, Upamecano, Todibo and Wagnerman are defensive line. Samadic, Ward-Prowse and Helmand are midfield. Kudos is sat behind Bowen and Abraham up front. Nathan Trott, Martin Vitic, Joe Gomez, Friedel, Soufal, Souček, Gray, Luke and Ollie Watkins make up the bench. And here we are back at the London Stadium. And we break a record today if we win. It's 13 matches won on the trot. Manchester United won 3, lost 1, drawn 1 in their last 5. They are playing a 4-3-3 with defensive midfielder today. We are first on 70 points. They are 5th on 53 points. Samadic with a corner. 3rd minute in. It's swung in. It's headed clear though. Helmand is out there. Helmand will recycle it, hopefully. He's pulled it back to Ward-Prowse. Kudos has a go. Kudos. Oh, he's a man and a half. His 12th goal of the season. And on, I'm not sure if it was 3 minutes or 4 minutes, we take a 1-0 lead. It's a bit early in the day, but nevertheless, Kudos creating the space. It was 3 minutes on the clock. Throw in on that far side. Wagnerman, 13 minutes on the clock. Now Todibo back to Wagnerman. Out to Todibo. Todibo, Ward-Prowse. Samadic from distance. Goalkeeper had to deal with it. Mazzoulia out to Parisi. 21 minutes on the clock. Samadic. Samadic comes forward. He's got close attendance there. Back to Upamecano. Samadic. Samadic comes forward. Finds Kudos in midfield. He's got it through to Bowen. 19th goal of the season. And a 2-goal cushion on 22 minutes. Just what the doctor ordered. And with Chelsea and Arsenal drawing, it will mean that we go 15 points clear at the top. And I'm hoping that that almost is enough. Lovely put away by Bowen. Parisi now. 27 on the clock. Samadic in the area. It's blocked. It's come away. Mount picked it up, but Parisi tidies up. Ward-Prowse, Samadic. Samadic comes forward. Samadic crosses this deep. Looking for Abraham. It's got in. And a question of offside. 17th goal of the season if it stands. I'm not sure. VAR is looking at it. It's disallowed. He was offside. Still only 2-goal lead. I think had that gone in, just as that ball was crossed in, he was just forward a little bit and say, had that gone in, we'd have killed him off. Samadic, deep, but Onana comes out and collects. Highlight looks like it's going to continue. Cutting off distribution. And he's punted that one forward. Upamecano brings it down. Samadic out wide to Parisi. We have control again. They've had most of the possession. Parisi crossed this deep. Abraham this time. That's going to count. 17th goal of the season. 3-0. And Manchester United look something like, well, I don't know. This is the way we should have played against Portsmouth, of course, but didn't seem to. He kept that ball in, Parisi. Run it along the line on the head of Abraham. 3-0. And half-time comes. And actually, the stats tell a story. In all Well, whichever way you look at it. So Kudos after 3, Bowen after 22. Abraham had 1 ruled out on 28, but made amends on 34. And we've had 10 shots, 6 of which on target, 0.88, 44% of the possession. They've had 56% of the possession, but they've done absolutely nothing with it so far. They've had no shots, nothing on target. I expect them to come out in the second half and give us a little bit of a thingy. 3 goals, hopefully, will be enough. We'll certainly be looking to add to it in the second. Wagnerman, 47 minutes on the clock with a free kick. It's gone forward to Tammy Abraham. Back to Wagnerman. Wagnerman finds Todibo. Todibo to Wagnerman. Wagnerman to Tammy Abraham. He's playing as a target forward today. Helmond. Was he? Yeah, I think he is. Ward-Prowse out to Parisi. Parisi comes forward. Marauding. He's nearly lost that ball, but he's tackled and come away with it. Wagnerman drags it back. Wagnerman. What's he going to do? He's going to have a go on his own. He is, but it's over the top. Samadic, 64 on the clock. They've pushed Mount out wide. Gave that ball away. Mainhu has come on, and that's forward. Kanate. Ganasho. It's well curled, but over the top. Mazulia saw it. And with 70 minutes on the clock, making 2 changes at this juncture. Lazar Samadic is off. Thomas Souček comes on to replace him. And we've also taken off Jared Bowen, both tiring a little bit. Bearing in mind we've got the first leg of the Champions League coming up. And at the moment, a 3-goal cushion. So with that in mind, we've taken those 2 off. And Ollie Watkins comes on to replace Jared Bowen up front. And with 83 minutes on the clock, we're making our final 3 changes as well. Wagnerman has come off. He's been replaced by Vladimir Sufal. Lazir Samadic, I think we'd already brought off, haven't we? Morten Helmond has come off, been replaced by Archie Gray in that midfield trio. And the other change that we've made is Mohamed Kudos has come off, and we've replaced him with Luke. Casemiro back to Anana. Anana out wide to Metal. Lima. Menu. And it's gone through to Parisi. Parisi comes forward now. Helmond. Change is not yet made. Todibo. Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse finds Watkins, who drops deep. Out to Souček. Souček out wide. Souček just needs to get this in. He's pulled it back to Ward-Prowse, but he's chipped it over the top. And it's all over. And I don't know why we were concerned about that match. There you go. You just don't know, do you? And really, we contained them extremely well. They did have a shot in on target in that second half. But to be honest, if you look at it down below here, they only had about 15 minutes where they were on top in the whole game, despite having 54% of the possession. Cracking day then, and my reason to put Mazulia back in goal was completely vindicated. A 7.6 for him in amongst it. But Fabriano Parisi, player of the match, an 8.4, 3 key passes, 1 clear-cut chance created, and an assist. He had a great day at the office, as did a number of the other players, to be fair. And, well, we saw the game out. 17 shots, 8 on target, 1.70 on the XG, 46% of the possession. They had 3 shots, all in the second half, 1 on target, 0.24, 54% of the possession. You can have as much possession as you like, as long as you don't score. That's the thing. 3-0 win then against Manchester United. We are really opening a bit of a gap at the top, given that Chelsea had drawn against Arsenal. Let's go and have a look. So here we are. This is the day's results. A quick resume. As I said, Arsenal and Chelsea are playing out a 0-0 draw in the early game. Bournemouth and Newcastle 1-1. Everton beating Leicester 2-1. Manchester City beating Brentford 5-0. Norwich beating Aston Villa. Aston Villa not done a lot of losses this season, but in fact they've lost 9 times. In total, but a 2-1 loss to relegation candidates, not in Norwich, which does them the world of good. More of that in a moment. Nottingham Forest also down in that bottom bit. A good win against Tottenham, 2-1 to hang on to things. Sunderland and Crystal Palace, 1-1 draw. As I said, Leeds beating Liverpool. Liverpool continue their torrid season. 2-goal winners, Leeds. And of course, we beat Manchester United 3-0 to open that gap a little bit more at the top. And I think that's Manchester United dead and buried now on 53. They're 20 points adrift of us. Manchester City are 19 points adrift of us, albeit Manchester United do have a game in hand. So technically, they're not so far away. They're 17 points away, I think, aren't they? Is that right? 56, yeah, something like that. Anyway, that's where they're at, and we have a 15-point lead now over Chelsea in second place, an 18-point lead over Arsenal in third place, and a 19-point lead, as I say, over Manchester City in fourth place. So that's how it's stacking up. And it's getting very competitive at the bottom here. Norwich looking like they're clawing their way back up. Bournemouth, as I said before, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest, Norwich, Luton and Southampton fighting out those three. Southampton getting further away from that bottom as it is. They need to start winning matches. But that's how it stands. At the end of the episode, we're going to come back for a Champions League round of 16. First leg against Red Bull Salzburg. In Salzburg, in the next episode, we're at the Stadion Salzburg for that one, and then we will face our next test in the Premier League against Newcastle. We've not lost to them yet this series, played them 7 times, beat them 7 times, and we hope to continue that run, albeit it is at St James's Park. We've played them there twice so far this series. Beat them 3-2 in the Premier League back in 2023, and then last season beat them 2-0. A similar result this time round would be very handy to keep up our sort of exploits at the top of the table, and of course getting closer and closer to that title. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment. Hitting the notification button, of course, keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Irons in the Fire and our other series from the bottom to the top as they are released. And new episodes of Irons in the Fire released every Monday and Thursday at 4:15 p.m. So our other series is Tuesdays and Fridays. The best way of keeping up to date with everything that's happening on the channel, new stuff, old stuff, how-to stuff, and all the rest of it, is to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffsideFM. Hope to see you for the next episode. And thank you for watching. We'll see you for the next episode, episode 69. It's out on Thursday. Till then, have yourselves a great week. Bye-bye.